Whoa.
All Jokes Aside podcast.
Brado.
What's the name of the podcast?
All Jokes Aside.
I love that.
All Jokes Aside, nigga.
I love that. Bitch, all jokes aside. Bitch, all jokes aside.
You're checking in to All Jokes Aside podcast.
Bitch, all jokes aside.
I'm rocking with All Jokes Aside podcast.
Bitch, all jokes aside.
And you listening to the All Jokes Aside podcast. Turn up.
All jokes aside, you are rocking with All Jokes Aside, the podcast.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, sitting here with the brand manager of Fame and Fortune. Gave me a grand tour of the beautiful combat. God damn it. Shit, she intimidated me already.
You know what I'm saying?
Sitting here with the brand manager of Fame and Fortune, everything, because they have literally everything in here. Marcy. What's good?
That's me.
Marcy.
That's her.
Fix the mic for her? Or I'll turn it up a little bit.
Ooh,
Yeah, please.
ooh, I don't know what's going on.
Let's get her mic together because we got to hear that voice. You know what I mean? Not that one. The one on top. No, the other one.
This one, probably.
The tight one. So it won't move. There you go.
Cool.
There you go. Don't put it.
Good?
Yeah, so it's always perverse thoughts when, you know what I'm saying? You don't never want to violate you put a mic in a woman's face.
There's a glizzy element.
Yeah, because there's always some fucking pervert. You're not used to those things in your face? Like, you know what I mean? So
And by some pervert, he means himself.
No, that's not true. I don't do that. Unless I know the woman. Unless I've fornicated with the woman already. I won't do that. So, Marcy, what's up? Tell us a little bit about your position here at Fame and Fortune. First of all, I go back with the Fame and Fortune guys, but it was all T-shirts.
Right.
This was back in
2012, probably.
like 2014. That's when I first.
Okay.
They, we all from the same area in Brooklyn.
Okay.
But I officially met them, maybe about 2012, 2013, 14. They just, and I'm like, oh, it's a brand, it's a clothing brand. Mm-hmm. And now it's evolved into something. You see boxers around, you see celebrities, you see basketball courts and Fame and Fortune motorcycles and cars and the fucking compound. And it's like, what is Fame and Fortune now in 2021?
Honestly, it's hard to even summarize that into... It's hard to summarize it. We're basically we're looking to build an empire out of all of this. And the cool thing about it is that I've been a part of this from the garage days.
Right.
From back in 2012. Josh has always been somebody that's like a mentor to me. That was like the big bro. Because I'm still the youngest one out of everybody. Now, I used to literally go to Josh's house all the time for like advice on life, everything. He was always like kind of like a guidance for me.
Right.
And Josh is, of course, like the CEO.
Right.
Him and my brother Dada. Love them. Shout out to them. They couldn't be here today.
Yeah, that's my boy. I saw Dada on the beach somewhere.
Yeah, no, he's living it up
Yeah,
in DR right now. Well, I used to literally be in the garage days. Like, for me to go and spend time with Josh, I would have to go and chill in the garage with him while he was screen printing the shirts. I'd be folding them, trying to get in touch, like, trying to get all the advice that I could from him. Because I'm like a sponge. I grasp everything. So, basically, I've been there from the beginning. Like, I've seen him go through a lot of the beginning stages of a brand. And down from like actually obtaining the trademark, it was that's a whole different story.
Right.
That you might need a whole different segment on that. And Josh can speak on that himself because he went through a lot to actually obtain the whole brand.
Right.
Now, once he actually had it, he started, he hit the ground running with it because anything he does like full 100% full throttle. Now,
That's my guy. I love Josh.
It's crazy because around that time, like I went to middle school and high school out here,
Okay.
but I was not built for Orlando, if that makes sense.
In what way?
So to me, I always, because I'm originally from up north. Like I was born in Jersey, but
we all are.
Yeah, born in Jersey, grew up in, lived in New York for some time. It was too slow.
Gotcha.
And to me, a lot of people were very complacent.
Not the people, the pace of the city, you mean? Or the...
Both.
Oh,
when I was living out here, there wasn't too much going on. No, when I was living out here, there wasn't too much going on. I was also really young. I was 17, 18 years old when I was starting to make the decision on, I was like, I need more. Like, I want more. I actually put my 2 weeks in my job and I was like, I'm moving. Like, I bought a one-way ticket to New York and I was like, you know what? I need to go find myself.
Right.
And that's exactly what I did. I tapped into, fortunately enough for myself, like I ended up meeting the right people up north, networking with the right people, and of course that's always a big deal. And from there, it just forced me to elevate. And I ended up tapping into the fashion industry. My roommate at the time was she still is a professional stylist. She was a stylist for Lauryn Hill, for Queen Latifah. She was doing big things. And she brought me on set because she saw me, she saw my drive, she saw my passion for fashion and everything in that world. And I, luckily enough, got to take almost 10 years out of the industry. And Josh, from afar, mind you, before I left, I told him, I was like, bro, I bought a one-way ticket. I'm out. Like, there's more for me. I'm meant for more. I need to discover it. I need to get lost to find myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I ended up leaving and I was gone and I gained all this experience and being on set, like I learned so much, like from the photography to the styling to hair and makeup, like all the essentials, like what you need to actually launch a campaign. And I worked with very big companies, like Macy's was one of the first people that I was on set with. Yeah, so I launched all the campaigns for Macy's for the past almost 9 years, basically.
Wow, just Macy's as a whole?
As a whole. So you walk into a Macy's, any image you see inside of it, anything that has to do with the catalogs, online, actual commercials, I was on set for all that.
Wow.
Which was a big stepping stone. Yeah, it was a big stepping stone for me, and it opened a lot more doors. So I got to work with brands like that were incorporated, like Inc., INC, Gucci, different people, like different brands, and I got to also come along with different people. Now, when the pandemic happened, everything slowed down. Because of the fact that models couldn't fly in. No one knew what the next step was going to be. Truthfully, I thought COVID was going to be for like 2 weeks. I was like, it's not.
We all thought.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was home on like standby, not doing anything basically. And I came out here. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Orlando because I have my family out there. I was out there by myself up north.
Okay.
And, I did well for myself. But I'm like, let me go back home, check up on my family, like until this is all over with, until it all blows over. Right, and Josh ended up reaching out to me. He's like, "Come by the warehouse." I'm like, "The warehouse? We went from a garage. Like, what do you mean the warehouse?"
Right.
So I come in, and of course, everything looked a lot different. There wasn't much structure going on, and I would just come in just to see what was going on. Josh was like, make yourself at home, feel comfortable, and I started like tapping into little things. I'm like, social media, this and that, like looking at little things in the structure of everything, and I'm like just putting my input and like from my experience, my knowledge. And he's like, you can't go. Like, we're building this and you've been here from day one. I need you. You're organized. You know what you're doing. And I need you to help me take this in the direction that I want to go.
You know what? I knew there was a woman involved somewhere. Some women involved.
It's funny because people always say that.
No, listen, I'm telling you, like, I'm not saying this shit was disorganized, but I know my guys. You know what I'm saying? And we come off as, we're professionals, but it's like always it was a different level of class with Fame and Fortune over the last couple of years. And I saw the compound. I see how everything's laid out. I'm like, these Brooklyn niggas, they do this. Like, it got to be some women somewhere.
Don't get me wrong. Before I stepped back in, they were doing their thing. They grew a lot from where they were, correct?
Right. Oh, 100%.
And it's crazy
100%.
to me because I remember walking down Times Square, and I remember that I saw the billboard.
Billboard and 40 and Tom. You know that, bro?
Right in front of the Macy's.
They had it right in
by
Times
MSG.
Square. I was like, Madison Square Garden. I saw the Fame. I'm like, Oh, they different.
So imagine how I felt. I'm walking by Times Square because I wanted to see the campaign that I just was a part of being put out, right? And I'm looking and I'm like, hold on. My work is right here.
Right.
But my family's work is right there.
Yeah.
And I had such a proud moment. I was like, they're doing it.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? I was
Word.
like, damn, that's fire. Like, Orlando was touching New York. And that to me was legendary.
Right.
Because you don't see other brands doing that.
And you know what? Orlando has been touching New York because we pretty much have been. What the hell? I'll check my sound real quick. Oh, mic check. There we go. Because it seems as if the most influential people in the city are from Orlando. I would say amongst comedians in Orlando, I would put me at number one. I would. I mean, everything New York touch, anything. If you're from New York and you come here, for some reason we come out here and flourish.
Because you run laps around everybody that's here. Because the hustle that New York has was something that I literally took and I absorbed it. Like I told you, I'm a sponge. I absorbed every single ounce of it. And I literally came back full throttle. It was to the point that I feel like I outgrew my city in a very respectful way. I outgrew Orlando, but I was like, no, like all my knowledge is for a reason. Because New York is big. It makes you feel real small.
Right.
But when I came over here, I was like, oh no, I'm at the right place.
And you know what's dope about Orlando? Orlando is still
growing.
Right, as established of a city as it is, it's just certain things that Orlando's not a hub for, like for comedy. Fame and Fortune is a huge clothing line here. Like people don't understand who's involved with this and how many celebrities and people fuck with this brand. This brand is it's not just clothes. It's so much more. You got boxing, you got fitness, you have the cars, the motorcycles, basketball, like every element of entertainment is involved with this brand.
But you know why though, right?
But the point I'm saying is more people from outside of the city fuck with it than the people in the city.
Because that's how it always is.
That's crazy.
It's like it's unfortunate to say, but it's almost like you only gain the respect from people here when you gain it from somewhere else.
Right. But it's not like that nowhere else.
No.
Like if when I'm in Brooklyn doing my thing in Brooklyn,
they show you love.
Right, and I figured out what the problem is with Orlando. The problem with Orlando is there's no natives, right? There's no allegiance unless you're from the west side. Like when you rep Orlando, you got to be from the west side of Orlando. Like the rappers, like they kind of got to, but even they beef. But if we come from New York and we come to Orlando and we set up here, of course, we show the city love. I don't think that the same love is received back from the natives of the city. I don't think it's on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, you got any intake on that?
I mean, you saying that the native people from Orlando don't show love back to who?
They show love to me. I mean, I understand. I notice when people from outside come in here and do their thing and say, yo, Orlando.
Yeah.
Right? And you scream Orlando because, of course, Orlando is responsible for my comedy career. Like, I came here and started comedy. In order for me to receive the love back from the city, I've reached out to the city to get that love.
Right.
But they still be like, oh, this New York ass nigga. Like, I still get that.
Well, I'm pretty sure it ain't everybody. It's just certain people probably.
It's the people that matter.
Yeah, the people that matter say New York ass nigga.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. If somebody come from somewhere else to New York and turn up, nigga, probably gonna label them as an out of towner. But you know, niggas hard. Respect the success though. At the end of the day,
it's kind of hard. I get love out here. I ain't gonna downplay my love I get. I get plenty of love in Orlando. Like I love this city.
Every city got haters,
right?
But it's crazy because New York pays attention to a lot that goes on out here.
Yeah,
100%.
Definitely right now,
and it's crazy.
Definitely
it's crazy.
Right now.
But to also tie into what you were saying, yeah, we have the boxers, the gym, and like the studio, the clothing line.
I forgot about the music. 2 music studios.
The music studios, yes. And then we also have the manufacturing as well.
The manufacturing is here,
which is something that we also offer to other people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because we went through, Josh went through a lot of like the hurdles, you know what I'm saying? And I also experienced a lot of it. Like manufacturing, all that stuff is a whole nother beast within itself.
When I first started out, even venturing onto things. I had Dirtbag Cartel, the clothing brand, and Fame and Fortune always used to be like, yo, come fuck with us, come let us print your shit up. But see, for me, I felt like it was a competition, and it wasn't.
It's not.
It was not but I didn't understand that
Right.
then. I'm like, I'm not giving y'all niggas no money. Like, I'm doing my thing over here. Y'all do y'all thing. But I wasn't well versed in business. But it was a good look back then to do that because I didn't understand clothing brands. I didn't understand shit about it. So, and I think about it now as an entrepreneur, I would never in a million years shun the business of somebody who I'm cool with and who I love. Like,
absolutely.
I shitted on, like, I didn't entertain the idea of having Fame and Fortune print my stuff up because I felt like it was a competition because we all was from Brooklyn. They got a clothing brand, I got a clothing brand, but here I am paying outside entities when in actuality I should have been coming to them.
Absolutely.
Because
and you would probably avoided a lot of mistakes with it
100%.
because that's what I'm trying to get at. What we do is that not only do we make and manufacture our own items, a lot of times we do outsource, but we have those resources as well. And we also offer consultations to brands who are just starting. We've helped people, even Push, for example. We helped him with his trademarking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We want everybody to be great because we know that we don't want to be the only ones making the noise, especially in the clothing industry.
Right.
We want everybody else to be great. We want Orlando to be a stamp, to stop being slept on. And that's what a lot of people think that is like, oh no, they're in competition. No, if you really know the people behind Fame and Fortune, they are the most selfless people in this world.
I can vouch for that.
The most.
Listen,
nobody in here is like.
Say something about these niggas. If it's Josh, Dada, Cannon, whoever, if I'm out, no matter nobody. Listen, I be wanting to buy, but these niggas don't let me pay for nothing. Like, it's just always been that love. If I pop up, I'm in the sections with these guys. We chilling. We out to eat. They pay. It's always been that love, and I think that's a Brooklyn thing. Period. Though, like I really feel that way.
Spread love is a Brooklyn.
I think that's a Brooklyn thing. Like it's always been unconditional love with these dudes, and nobody ever switched up.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure we've all been in positions where we're not as up as we were.
Unless you do wrong to us.
Right, unless you do dirty
and we don't
shit.
even do wrong to you. We're just like, okay, we're not on the same page. Go that way.
But even with you, like I feel like adding the female element, just having the women around, had made the brand stronger.
It also softens the look up a lot too.
100%.
So to basically tie into what I was saying before, everything that we have going on, there's so much going on. But the reason behind it is because it's all behind the culture that we're trying to bring to Orlando, right? So Josh is a fanatic of basketball. Right. He loves music. He loves boxing, all that stuff. And he loves his line more than anything. Right. So Fame and Fortune is the hub, right? So the clothing line is always going to be the main focus. But everything around it is part of the culture. Right. Do you get what I'm saying? And no matter what line it is that you are in, whether you're a basketball player, whether you're a recording artist, whether you're a boxer, you always have the same end goal. It's either to get to the fame and fortune. So what we do is that we shine light on all of that. You know what I'm saying? So we feel like everybody that resonates with the brand, everybody knows that wants to achieve the fame and fortune, they have to go through sacrifice. They have to hustle. They have to go through those late nights, those early mornings. Right. And that grind, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have that at all times. That's why all of our newest collections, where I come into play is that I started to bring more emotion into it. And as women, we tend to be a little bit more on the emotional side, and it's fine.
It works for fashion.
Emotion sells. Do you get what I'm saying? Right. So my goal is to shine light more on the personalities behind it, the story behind it. Right. Because once you add that, you become more than just T-shirts. More than just T-shirts and a cool pair of pants. Right. It's more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of our clothes have a different type of, like, a meaning behind it. Like, this shirt, for example, is a dedication shirt. Right? It has the skull on the back with the dedication on the eyebrow, like Nipsey Hussle. People that resonate with what we have going on, inspiration behind it. Right. That's one thing that I like to implement. This whole collection is called the Breakthrough Collection. Why? Because I have a mentor. His name is Greg Keller. He has launched like a lot of really big brands, right? And I absorb everything. So I picked his brain a lot, and he told me, he's like, when you're coming up with the concept behind a new collection, think of what you're currently going through, what emotion is that you're feeling. And I've had my back up against the wall. Josh had us all inside of that room right there, and he was like, guys, we're running late up on this collection. We need to figure out what we're doing like today. And I was like, it's going to be the breakthrough for the brand. Like, we're experiencing breakthrough. Like, this is what's going to take us to the next level. So every item in our collection has a name, and every item has a storyline behind it, because they were all inspired. Like, I sat side by side with my team, because it's a team, and we literally designed each item that is in this collection, and we created a storyline for it. We named everything. It's like a child. We literally named it, and that's why this collection hits different. Every single collection that I've been a part of for the past year, because I've only been back for like little over a year, I made sure that I implemented that into it.
Right. And you know what I love about the brand now? It's so much shit that you like. Before it was like 1 or 2 shirts but different colors. Mm-hmm. Now it's a brand. Like, it's so much of it. Like, I'm on the website, I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God, I need all of this shit. Mm-hmm. And just over the years, it's just a pleasure to see it, and I'll smile from afar, like, damn, like, they really did that shit.
You see the growth.
Yes, and then you come to the compound. If you have an Orlando area, if you want to get a tour, you got to contact them first. But it's literally a compound. I mean, where can you go? It's a boxing gym. It's a basketball court. It's 2 recording studios. It's a fitness center. And also, this is where the clothes are made. Mm-hmm. That designed and made.
Everything.
That is amazing, like, to have all of that shit in one.
To be so hands-on. It's honestly...
That's crazy.
It is. And it's crazy because this is a part of my everyday life, right? Like, I'm in here, that door says Monday through Friday. We're in here Saturdays and Sundays.
I know how
always.
It works.
Late nights, everything. And it's like, I literally have cried tears because this is not easy.
Yeah,
at all. It's overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy.
Oh, yeah.
And, you're only as strong as your team. So not only am I working here, but outside of here, I'm working on myself. I read, I do my audios, everything, because I feel like someone has to step up whenever somebody on your team is falling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to pick them back up. Right. And that's something that we all do so strongly. Like, I could have a bad day. Dada walks in and he's like, no, you're going to snap out of that. Because he understands that too. Right. Josh especially. You know what I'm saying? Josh is like he's the brain behind a lot of everything that goes on. Everything that you see in here, his hands have touched. Right. My hands have touched. I built this grass wall. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have put...
Oh, there's definitely a woman's touch. I knew that.
For sure. We all put our blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this compound is not just a compound. It's so much of us invested into it. Right. And let's be honest, like, in Orlando, Dada's always got love. Always. And it's because of his personality. It's who he is as a person. Cannon has love because of how loyal and how good of people that we all are. Right. Because we literally, those are my brothers. Those are my older brothers. We're all on the same page. So we're all going to elevate together. And everybody that's around us is going to elevate along with us. It's either you're growing with us or you're growing with us. You know what I'm saying? Right. If not, you could just stand on the sideline and just watch. But doors are open to anybody that wants to grow. That's just who we are as people.
Right. He had off camera. We had a show about 2 years ago. At another, actually, was at another. Shout out to Millennia 3 Studios. We did a location shot there, and I was talking to a woman, and I was saying how I don't know how we got into the conversation about me fighting a woman for some reason.
Oh shit!
Here we go.
Yeah, like, I'm like, why do we talk about that? Why was that even a conversation?
We had to watch it. It was what's her name? It was
Vakai.
Yeah, Vakai.
But why are we talking about me fighting a woman?
I don't know. It's in the clip.
Oh, she was talking about the strength of women, and she said I'm distracting her. She said she can distract me because she's gorgeous.
Yeah, but still, how did
but
it get
it
to
was
violence?
Something about. I said I don't think there's a woman who could beat me up.
Yeah, but it was something.
And I got called out off camera, and I heard you're a fighter.
I was a fighter for a very long time, yes.
Like real fights, weigh-ins, and
real fights, weigh-ins, like to the point that I would have to put my hair into cornrows, like cut 30 pounds to fight.
Are you $1 Million Baby or are you Billy Blue Bear? Which one are you? You saw the movie before?
Yeah.
Which one are you?
$1 Million Baby.
You Billy Blue Bear or you Blue Bear or you $1 Million Baby.
$1 Million Baby.
And she was fair.
What was your record?
To be honest, I can't even keep count. It depends.
Have you lost? Have you been knocked out before?
I've never been knocked out. I always wanted to feel what that felt like.
That was crazy. And he was saying that off camera.
She keeps saying that shit.
What do you mean?
She said she wants.
Oh, you want to take an
It's
L.
crazy because one day I told Josh we're in the boxing gym and I was like, bro, I want to. I was like, bro, I want to know what it's like to be knocked out. He looked at me. He's like, you want me to knock you out? I was like, yeah. I always wanted to know what that felt like. It just always sounded.
You ever been knocked out?
Cool to me. I don't know.
Nah.
Me neither. I don't want to know what that shit feel like.
I allowed people to have my coach used to allow me to have a whole round where he can observe because it was amateur for the most part, right? And to me, and a lot of times I would go in every time. I would go blindsided against my opponent, but it's a psychological thing. If I was to actually watch my opponent and study my opponent, it builds fear. Everything's psychological, you know what I'm saying? So I always walked in blindsided. So he would give me the first round to observe. He's like, just take the hits.
Are you single?
Yes.
Do you like being choked out by your boyfriend and shit? Are you into that type of shit?
Yeah.
You are. You gotta be. There's no way you're not. So you into autoerotic asphyxiation and shit.
My brother might knock me off for answering these questions, to be honest with you. Josh, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, you want to.
I didn't put myself in the situation.
You want to be knocked out? That's crazy.
Because it was always a curiosity.
I'm scared. I've never, the close.
Because when you go into a fight, it's like, I'm gonna kill you before you kill me.
So is it wanting to feel knocked out, or is it wanting to take the L to get it out the way?
No, I don't want to take an L. I just want to know what it feels like.
Well, you get knocked out, just an L.
Yeah, but I never wanted it to be a part of an L. Even when I was sparring, I'm like, right. I hope I get knocked out. I want to know what it feels like. Because I would see people just I hit and I see them just days out. I'm like, damn, what does that feel like?
So do you utilize the facilities to train?
More or less. I train a lot of the girls, my sister-in-laws. I literally pull them in there and I just train with them. But sparring with somebody, right. No.
That's dope. I mean, are you still active?
That would change the energy in here if you knock somebody out.
Yeah, no, it'd be real different. I'm not active in it anymore. I actually stopped probably two years ago, maybe a little bit over. But it's because it was a lot to my health. I was cutting 30 to 40 pounds for each fight. I was really unhealthy. Yeah, exactly. And honestly, it was really hard to find a female opponent. There's not many girls that fight at all, to be honest with you.
Right.
And especially amateur up north, especially in New York, it was illegal for the most part. So
you got to go upstate New York.
It was a lot of underground fighting. Jersey was open, Connecticut, things like that. But
you knew where to go get the work.
Absolutely. And I always stood active. I used to do the jiu-jitsu tournaments and I would do kickboxing fights, all that stuff. But to me, the full round, that was more my thing. The stand-up game is cool. I don't knock it, but I like the full MMA type of fight.
I would think being as pretty as you are and a fighter will work in your favor.
No. I've always been underestimated. That's always just happened. But as a fighter...
But it's because you're pretty.
They used to always tell me she's so marketable. Oh, I would walk in for a weigh and you should be a ring girl instead. They're gonna mess up your face.
Why they do that,
I was like, I hope they mess up my face. I always wanted a scar, but it's weird.
Always wanted to get knocked out. Always wanted a scar.
You're a dominatrix or some shit.
No. It was just, you know what it is? I'm always underestimated. And time back.
So you was you spent your time around a lot of guys growing up.
My brothers, Josh, Dada, come on now. Yeah, Josh, Dada, and Cannon, they were the knockout kings. And not for nothing, but that's another thing too. Being that they were all such fighters, and we know the reputation,
right.
You just discussed with PC,
right?
Me stepping back in, I feel did help soften up a lot.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's also they've grown a lot as people as well.
100%.
1,000%.
It's dope. It's dope. It's dope to watch all of them. Even with Josh, Cannon, Dada. I saw something with Dada and Nice. Shout out to DJ Nice, and they went on a
church retreat.
The church retreat, and I saw Nice give his life over to God, and I was like, what the fuck? It wasn't. I'm like, these niggas about to go to jail or some shit, because niggas make transitions when they're about to get locked up. Mm-hmm. And I watched it and I was like, wow, they really doing this.
It's all about growth.
It's just dope. And the people come to me all the time like, yo, bro, I love seeing you with your children on videos and just the father you are. You inspire me. And I'm like, nigga, I'm just being me.
Yeah.
But other people from the outside is literally watch your growth.
Of course.
Because I wouldn't think, like back when we was outside, like, you know, Dada, all of us outside, we out doing different shit. They got Fame and Fortune, I got Dirtbag Cartel. But it's in the beginning stages, so we still trying to figure it out. But now here we are. I got my business I'm running with the podcasting and media. They have the compound. And we all grew together, and now we're incorporating businesses and doing work together.
Right.
That shit is amazing to see that.
Of course.
And it's all positive. Ain't nobody in jail. Everybody's alive. Everybody's healthy. Everybody kids is good. It's dope to see that shit, yo.
It's because everybody sees a bigger picture. Like,
Right.
Josh now is like, okay, Josh will literally tell me to my face, he's like, what are you going out for? What are you celebrating? Being broke? Because we're not where we want to be at yet. We're building a legacy.
Josh don't do it, yo.
He's like, we're building an empire.
He don't say much, but when he do talk, it means something.
Oh, and he speaks knowledge.
Yeah, he don't say much.
He will drill knowledge into anybody
Right.
that comes around him.
Right. Josh, man, where the fuck is he at anyway? I wish he was here tonight.
Man, he's busy.
And even if he wasn't, he probably wouldn't get on camera. You know, Josh
He
can
is.
in a few words.
No, Josh is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, growth is growth.
I need to get
Josh
him on
was on
camera,
a whole
man.
podcast with us not too long ago. His first podcast, and you would not imagine how good he was flowing. Because you know what? It's different when. So this is his, you know what I mean? This is a
Right.
representation of him.
Right.
So now that him and Dada will get in front and like he'll speak to you on. It's easy to speak on something that you're passionate about
Right.
and
Facts.
something that you're building because
Right.
now it's bigger than just them.
Right.
The selfish days are done. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Now it's they look at everything. They're like, I'm building this for my kids because we're building legacy.
Legacy, yeah.
It's different. It's
Right.
even me. Like I walk in and I told my brother, I'm like, yo, bro. I walk in and I see my nieces and nephew running around. How could I not be inspired?
Right.
You think that I would ever... Quitting isn't an option. You think I want my 4-year-old niece to grow up and be like, oh, Titi, you remember the warehouse that we had? Whatever happened to that? Never. Over
And-
my dead
and you know
body.
what? And you know, I thought it was over for Fame and Fortune. I thought it just stopped. Because for a couple of years, it was low, it was quiet. And then all of a sudden this happens. And I'm like, yes! And I saw it, I'm like, oh shit! And like even with Dirtbag Cartel, I no longer do the brand. But what people don't really understand is Dirtbag Cartel is now the umbrella company
Right.
for everything else. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't go anywhere. Maybe I'm not doing T-shirts and shit no more. But all jokes aside, it's under the Dirtbag Cartel.
You establish your brand.
It's a brand now. It's branded. My name is Will Mills, but Dirtbag Cartel was me and my friends.
Right.
But now people call me King Dirtbag. There is no Dirtbag Cartel anymore. I am the brand now.
Right.
And a couple of people had to be weaned to the side, and now it's no longer just a bunch of friends running around. It's a company. It's a business. Even with Fame and Fortune, I felt like it was kind of like in the beginning stages. It was that brothers, friends getting together as a new t-shirt company, and then it grew into what it is now. And it's nowhere but up from here.
Absolutely.
It's nowhere up from here.
And
because-
everybody's watching.
Yeah, you
so
can't-
it's like failure's not an
And-
option.
do you feel like it's kind of scary? Like, oh shit, we like on
She
the
said it was
brink of something.
overwhelming earlier.
Yeah, but do you feel like, for me, I feel like as my brand grows and other people see like, yo, my nigga, I saw you on World Star, I saw you here, I saw you there. For me, it's like, but other people see it as a big fucking deal.
And that
Right.
happens to us all the time too. Like it's crazy because you sometimes have to step out. The other day I had a girl come in here, right? And she was a model for us.
Right.
And she told me, she's like, you do realize that you guys are like the pioneers for clothing lines in my eyes.
Right.
I'm like, that's crazy because sometimes when you have something in front of you every single day, you fail to realize. It's like losing weight.
Right.
You're working out every single day and you look in the mirror, you still see the same exact thing.
Right.
But somebody sees you 2 weeks later, a month later, they're like, damn, you came a long way. And you're like, really? You don't
Right.
see it.
Right.
But that's a gift and a curse. And sometimes we fail to appreciate how far we've come.
I think it's being humble.
It is, but you know what
I
it is?
think-
It's also because once you reach once we achieve something, it's like, what's next? What's next?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
But I think that's a form of humility when you don't get on your own dick. You know what I'm saying? Like some people do
Absolutely.
that. They get to a certain point, they start feeling themselves, and they kind of become complacent.
Right.
But for me, every day with work, with branding, I don't, like I said, when you're a real entrepreneur, you don't go to bed, you fall asleep. I don't go to bed when I'm sleeping. I'm lucid dreaming. I'm thinking about my next move. I wake up, think about what's the next content. What can I do with this brand next? It's never sleep.
Sometimes I go to sleep and I dream about that I'm still here working because I go to sleep with so much on my mind, and I wake up still tired. I'm like, damn, I gotta go back to work.
And the day you kick your feet up, it's gonna be the best day in the world because.
Yeah, and let me tell you, there's a lot of things that go on that people don't see. Like, for example, we had a really big hiccup with manufacturing because, during COVID, all that stuff, like outsourcing, we were outsourcing to India. We had a whole collection that we did a whole commercial for, did a campaign for. It was going to be, like, the first time we did all this stuff, right? And manufacturing went wrong. India did us so wrong. It was crazy. And we last minute had to, it fell into our lap and it didn't, because I believe a lot in like universe and manifesting and all this stuff. And we went to a trade show with what we had, a collection that we were like, okay, we're going to push this forward. And the sampling was all we had. We were expecting the delivery of everything by a certain day, but it all fell through. The sampling, that the actual manufacturing that we got, the final production, was not sellable for us. So we had to last minute, time crunch, okay, we're going to resource to China. And we got it done, but we got it late. So what happened with that, it's like a ripple effect. You know what I'm saying? Like from there, we already had the campaign. We had everything executed, the content, everything, right? The whole concept behind it. And we ended up sitting on a lot of winter apparel. So this time, what we had to do, which was new for all of us, Josh and I packed our bags. We're like, we still have, it's already getting hot in Florida. We have sweatpants and suits, all this stuff, winter clothes. Where is it still cold? New York. I had a little bag, a rolling bag. I filled it up with everything that we had in here. And I went from store to store, mapped it out in Jersey, in New York. And this is another thing that ties in with the whole being underestimated as a female. I went to a lot of places with Josh, but then we work better when you split up sometimes too. I had to do a lot of things by myself. Man, I experienced the craziest thing in New York. I never felt so like harassed as a woman walking in, and I'm like here showing clothes. Like I remember I called Josh crying one day when, of course, it was in the Bronx. I had of course it was in the Bronx. I got a lot of love from a lot of places, but I literally got harassed. And I'm like, I'm showing you clothes. And as I'm bending down to pull the clothes out, you're telling me that you rather bend me down in a different... Like, it was crazy. I was like, bro, and mind you, I'm over here sharing the storyline. Everything that has... And it's like, by foot, you know what I mean?
Shit.
Bro, it was... And I was
Nasty.
like, exactly. And it's like, it's crazy because, yeah, it's dope being... one of the only, like, one of the main women, like, because basically it's my sister-in-laws, like, they all play a big role. Like, some of them, like, Dana handles all the marketing, Lisa handles all the eventing, but I'm actually in the street with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like side by side with Josh and Dada. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things that it might sound cool, but, like, to a lot of people, they don't see, like, they'll see us out, they're like, oh, that's dope. But they don't really know what we really do go through. Like, it really is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And it's like, because this is, for us, it's not just a clothing brand, it's do or die. Right. And nobody has our back like we got each other's backs. Right. And we have to take a lot of things into our own hands and go out there and get it. You know what I mean? Dada does it all day long. He literally has people walk in this warehouse showing love all the time. Like, we have to take it into hands because it's not just e-commerce. We don't have a storefront. We're building one right now, but we can't rely on other people to pick us up and see our vision. We have to show them the vision.
Do you see any progress in the female plight in this specific industry? Space?
Yes and no. I feel like women are very underestimated. It's weird because it's like the only females that I really came across. I just recently got in touch with a dope female designer, and I'm like, I'm gonna give you the front center. Like, let's see what you could do. You should be the first female designer that we actually bring on board. But besides that, unfortunately, I feel like it's a lot of they just come in as models, and there's no knock to that hustle. That's a whole different hustle. But I have seen lately in Orlando too a lot of females that are putting on with their own brands, and to me that's so dope.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's starting to grow. Progress. I'm starting to see it a lot more, and I love it. Like, as a female, launch that brand, show them like that you have more to offer. You know what I'm saying? Not just a pretty face. There's more to it. You know what I'm saying? That hustle is strong.
Right. Good answer. One more question. With the cancel culture that we living in, and you're dealing with branding. Has there been any challenges in the last couple of years? You know, with the heightened sensitivity, you know, in the branding world, and the you know, just people taking offense to images and words being used. Has there been any type of adjustments being made with stuff like that?
To be honest with you, I feel like even on set, like not just Fame and Fortune. Well, Fame and Fortune, I literally take any, like not just any model, but I like all shapes, all sizes. Doesn't matter. Like beauty is beauty, and to me, everybody, like I can't shut somebody down to be a part of what we have going on. You know what I'm saying? And like even in the fashion industry, I see how much it's evolved. Like now they're involving more plus size models, more a little bit of everything. Like we're opening because we're in a different era now. It's not just one specific look. It's like beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, and I feel like now it's actually being brought forward, and in Fame and Fortune we're bringing that forward as well.
Okay. Well, this has been a very, very, very good fucking show.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Yeah.
I've learned some things.
You got anything you want to leave people with? Because I don't want these cameras. Is that camera still running? Okay, I don't want the cameras to cut off. You got anything else, Fire?
That was the main question I wanted to ask. I really was thinking about what you know what. What was the brand that had the monkey?
Red Monkey.
No. They had the kid that was a monk. They had
H&M.
It was H&M. Because when you said Macy's, I'm like, was that Macy's?
No.
I didn't want to ask a stupid question, but that's what I was thinking about.
H&M, because they even had the Asian boy wearing the, like, I think it was like ramen noodles or like some type of like pho or something like that. Like
that's funny.
Yeah, no, the insensitivity. No,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't think their intentions was to be insensitive. I think people are just extra sensitive nowadays.
That's my point. Like, are there things that was just normal that's like, oh shit, we can't do that no more. We can't use that image no more. We can't use that word, stuff like that.
No, but the insensitivity, I mean, I feel like that's like a really gray area, because when you're actually on set and like you're a part of that table, there's a lot of hands there's a lot of people that have to approve everything that goes on. And it's like for someone not to catch how it could be taken into, like, the message could be like misinterpreted is like, I don't know, I think that's kind of hard. But I overlook like all of that. Yeah. And it's so many of us on this team. Well, it's a small amount of us. It's all family, but we catch all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Has there ever been no, can't do that, can't do that?
All right. No, sir. We're very cautious of what we do as well, because the last thing we ever want to do is to offend anybody. We're here to inspire. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like anybody that comes to be a part of this, like if there's any way we could elevate you and talk you up, you know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing. We're empowering you.
You know what I want to say though, and maybe it's different in comedy. And I feel like whatever it is, whatever side into it, I think apologizing is bad, especially if it wasn't your intentions to offend. You know what I mean? Like, I hate that conformity shit. Like, when I say certain jokes, people, it happens to me all the time. I get blocked on social media. It happens to me all the time. I say some things, and because people don't agree with my opinion, they view it as hating or being racist or being a bigot or homophobic. And it's like, listen, I'm far from any of that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I could apologize for the way it made somebody feel, but I'm not apologizing for who I am, because then you're not being true to yourself. I mean, I don't see Fame and Fortune dealing with none of that shit, but I do see that the bigger you guys grow, because you guys have so many different avenues you're dealing with. It's like, because boxing in itself is one entity by itself. Fitness, one. Clothing, one. Music, one. Y'all have it all, and you well established in each field. So it's gonna be some humps. I see y'all team growing bigger. That's gonna happen. Like, y'all gonna have to, everything y'all got going, there's no fucking way y'all not about to have 100 employees in here. Like,
oof, I hope so. Some graphic designers, something. You have to. Like, it's impossible to run so many things of this magnitude. Even with podcasting, it's me and him. But even the way we're growing, we got to hire like 3 or 4 more people.
Yeah, we only lasted this long because we a little different.
Right, we're a little different.
You see, he engineering.
Yeah, I
just do everything. But
we fired people, and now I literally do audio engineering.
Right.
He knew nothing about camera work, but because the engineers we were dealing with were so shitty, he literally learned the program.
Because you learn what you love.
And then he taught me the programs.
Absolutely.
So now I know how to audio and visual engineer. And then even with this, right, we're getting to a point where now, even with this small setup we have here, we have a large scale setup we do.
Right.
It's going to get to the point where me and him going to be home and somebody's going to set it up for us.
Yeah. And one day that comes with the growth. And to
Right.
also answer kind of like the question that you had before, to be honest with you, we don't look at the exterior of the people that come in here that are on set with us. Because at the end of the day, we're a hustle driven brand. And if you resonate with our message, then you are a representation of Fame and Fortune. So we don't look at the exterior. We look at what that hustle inside of you is like. Right. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what speaks volumes to us. What you're doing, what you're sacrificing, what your lane is, and how can we add to that? And how can we come together? That's really what it is. I don't care what you look like. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, what's your drive like? Everybody has a story. And somehow that story ties in with the message of the brand, the positivity behind it.
I heard that.
But you look like madder than me, so if you're going to be on All Jokes Aside, you better look a certain way. Fuck that. Well, listen, Marcy, thank you. I love your energy.
Thank you.
I love what you bring to the company, just what you represent.
Thank you.
Not just for Fame and Fortune, as a woman.
Thank you.
And I think you super dope, and I think you do great things here. And I think they're lucky to have you on board.
I appreciate that. And listen, they're stuck with me for life, so I really appreciate you guys having us and even
for sure.
hosting this here. Like this
Lisa,
to
shout
us
out to Lisa. Shout out to Lisa.
Shout out to Lisa.
We've been trying to make this happen for a while now, but just things happen. I'm so busy, I literally forgot my daughter's graduation.
Oh my God.
So I scheduled to come in here and do this, and I'm like, what the fuck? I can't do this. It's my daughter's graduation. I can't miss that. Yeah. So she was like, of course, it's your daughter's graduation. You got to make it. You don't got to apologize.
Of course. Well, trust the timing and look at the time that it is. Like we're still here.
Oh yeah, and
the grind don't stop.
And so I said, you know what? Fuck it. You know, we'll do our episode 100. We're on episode 118. We're in our third year here doing this, and I'm dedicating this entire show to Fame and Fortune.
Thank you.
My brothers, my new sister.
Thank you.
And
wait, before you call her your sister, you say you kind of retired.
I fight my sisters.
But I'm saying, listen, it could be you. Mm-hmm. It could be you. You could find me somebody. You said I know you could find.
We could throw some gloves on.
I need to edit this nigga getting beat up.
Okay.
I need to zoom in on that. You know what I'm saying?
And I could finally get knocked out, right?
Or that might.
Now me, Josh, and Kenny gonna fall out. No, I'm not falling out. We came too far in our friendship.
No, but
just find me somebody.
I got you. I mean, I'll do it. I have no problem. Anything for the brand. I'm just kidding. No, but honestly, I really do wish my brothers were here. Josh and Dada play a really big role in everything. But you know, like everyone's busy. Everybody's grinding. Right. I mean, Dada's tanning right now. But
I saw him out there, his pale ass in DR. I saw him.
Listen, maybe we could do a part 2 one day.
For sure.
But I really shout out to them as well because listen, I'm only as strong as my team, and I'm just a representation of my team right now, but it's so many more than just me, and hopefully one day everybody can get to shine some light on them as well.
Oh, we'll be back. We usually do follow-ups.
Okay.
We
could do that.
We have friends of the show, you know what I'm saying? So
of course.
Fame and Fortune, definitely family of the show. So
I love it.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Marcy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys.
The brand director, right?
Yeah.
Brand man. I don't want to say manager. Brand director of Fame and Fortune. Everything Fame and Fortune. That's the brand director right there.
Everything.
Yep.
All right. So guys, I want to thank you for tuning into episode 118, special edition, right? Located in Orlando, Florida, at the Fame and Fortune compound.
Yep.
All right. Shout out to Fame and Fortune. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Dada. Shout out to Cannon.
That's them.
Shout out to everybody, Fame and Fortune.
That's
fam. And 118 in the books, baby. We out of here. Peace.
Whoa. Fredo. I love that. Me and Pyrex together, watch 2 words collide. Me and Jackie bored out the suites when we got hella whores inside. Whoa, I'm the shit. Bitch, all jokes aside. I'm the shit. Bitch, all jokes aside. Me and Pyrex together, watch 2 words collide. Me and Jackie bored out the suites when we got hella whores inside. Whoa, I'm the shit. Bitch, all jokes aside. I'm the shit. Bitch, all jokes aside. I'm the I'm the shit. Need a nigga, I had to say more. Ain't nobody gonna do